Discount Podcast.
Welcome in, you cheap beggars, to Discount, the bargain bin gaming podcast, hosted by three people so short, that's why our podcast is continually overlooked. I am...
Oh, very nice.
I know, I am one of your hosts. I just want to go home, but I keep getting thrown into a tip. I'm Josh, and plugging into Player 2.
Missing half my cutscenes, having a poorly telegraphed fight scene, then a sex scene with my clothes on. I'm Darren, hello. And sitting right at the bottom of every game shelf, but not because at the end alphabetically, but because no one wants to buy them.
It's Morbin time! It's me, it's Karen.
I like how that also applies to that movie.
Yep. Welcome in, everyone, to another episode of Discount. This is one of our fight episodes where we are fighting over the best budget video games.
Yep.
Trying to work out, are we buying each other something nice, something bad? Who knows? Basically trying to prove that you don't have to buy every AAA feature to have a good time.
And also, what is a budget game in this economy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yes, we are back. It is February. It's been tough. Our intros have taken forever because I kept messing it up.
Yeah.
But we are here and we are fine. Let's forget about the past where I've messed up all that time. But let's look further back.
Okay.
Should we go into the vault?
Let's
go into the vault and look at last episode's fight games. Can we open the vault, please? So, the vault's open. Thank you, guys.
It kept open.
Yeah, it went round several times.
The door is really fucking big these days.
I'm starting to think...
The building.
I'll be honest, the door didn't used to do that, so I think you guys just pushed it too hard.
We'll be honest, it's a purely hypothetical vault.
Yeah.
All right, fuck you guys. But we're looking at last episode's fight games. The last episode that we had a fight on was Superpowers.
Yeah.
Where we all bought 3 Superpower games. They were Marvel's Spider-Man
Or
for PS4.
the electric spooder.
Other Spider-Man.
That is Miles Morales.
Yeah, but I still like it.
The great non-electric one.
Yeah.
The Great Basic Spider. We also had South Park, The Fractured But Whole.
Yep, broken butt.
And lastly, it was Life is Strange, True Colors. Those were the 3 Superpower games we brought to the table. And we turn to you, our adoring fans, to ask which of these is the best game, which is the Superpower game that you think deserves to be in the vault. And we'll then add it to our massive list of games that are in the vault. We need to sort of show what the full collection is in here at some point.
Fucking a lot of stuff in there now.
I mean, what is this? Episode 5 of this season?
Yeah.
So we're probably, this is like the 29th game? No, not quite
26th.
that. 26th game going in there.
Yeah.
So quite a few games in here. Of those 3 games, how do you feel they got ranked in the voting?
I'm going to go ahead and guess that Spider-Man won just because it is fucking Spider-Man. So I think that one.
Spider-Man. Because I think it has a bigger following.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Life is Strange, South Park.
That's the order you think it goes in?
Okay.
What order do you think it is?
I was going to say
Can hear the cogs turning.
originally I was going to say South Park second, but now that I think about it, I don't know whether people would take South Park that seriously as a game.
And you're putting Life is Strange first.
No.
Now that I've thought about it.
Spider-Man first. Then I think I agree with Darren. Basically.
Spider-Man is joining the vault as our most voted for game with, I think it was over 70% of the votes.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
In second place, South Park came in,
wow, okay.
followed with Life is
I thought
Strange.
that was too obvious.
But every game got voted for at some point, so they are a favourite of someone
Good
of
for
those
Life
3.
is Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Spider-Man joining the likes of... Are there any other superheroes in here at all? Maybe, I can't remember. But yeah, it's Spider-Man. That was our Superpower games. We're not dealing with superpowers anymore. So fucking let's spin that door closed again and move into the genre to find out what we're talking about on this week's fight. Paris clearly forgot she was closing the door again then.
I at one point stood away from the door and Gareth just stayed.
There was very much a look of shock as I went, and we're closing the door. And you went, wait, what?
Yeah, yes.
Also,
Apologies.
how does one close a revolving door?
Yeah, well, you just keep pushing it.
Yeah.
But then isn't it always open and closed?
I think that's a you problem.
Fair enough. Might very well be. I wouldn't know how to step in or out of that. You are correct. It could be a me problem. But yes, let's forget about superpowers. And
I
we'll
can't imagine going like, your door's always open, but that seems like your issue.
Yeah, can you imagine speaking to a handyman, the expert on the door, and like, not my fault.
Yeah.
Not my fault. This plane seems to be hurtling to the ground, pilot. Sounds like a you problem.
Sounds like your issue. I already have dreams of Valhalla. It sounds like your fucking problem, bud.
I'm bringing you all with me.
I just live in the moment, okay?
So we'll look at this week's. And this week's was pulled last time. And what is the topic, Karis?
It is critically panned.
And what does that mean, Darren?
Games that were panned critically.
What was fun at the end of the last episode when we pulled this, we said, we'll have to discuss this off stream to work out what we're buying. And I didn't have a discussion with anyone and just bought a game straight away.
Yeah.
And then we continued to not have a discussion and all bought our games.
Yeah.
So, in our heads, what are we looking for in a critically panned game? It may sound stupid. You're looking for a game that obviously the critics didn't like. Is that on initial release? Is it continued? Is it always? Where does it rate? What are you looking for? Are users important in this or not?
In my head, I think of it as a game with a notably negative release. I suppose, like, how it is now both sort of matters and doesn't. So it persists of, like, is it still critically panned? Has it had a flippant opinion?
Yeah.
But I think of it as a game that was significantly, like, I remember this getting bad press when it released.
Right, okay.
That's what I took from it as well. I didn't take into account, like, user reviews. For me, it was like, what do I know? When I heard about it, it was like, reviewers have said this is bad. Like, the press have said this is bad. It didn't do well.
So we're sort of looking at what critics thought, primarily on release, because that's where it comes in, and what people were saying, and then potentially look at where it is now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, things do improve and do change. What games were you thinking of when... Or no, we won't look at that. We'll talk about the games we did buy for each other first. Because if we talk about what we thought about, if you're like me, I thought of one game straight away. I mean, there are others to think about. I thought of one game, I bought it immediately, and I sent it to Darren. So Darren received his game first.
I did.
So what game did you receive, Darren?
I received the lovely Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt Red's attempt at a game.
I mean, they've done The Witcher in the past.
They've done The Witcher, yeah. I'll give it like a little rundown. You play as V, who is basically like a person of crime, a criminal, if you will.
With your three potential backstories.
Your three potential backstories. I don't remember what all three were. I made myself a street kid because I thought that seemed...
Street kid, nomad, and there's another one which is like city slicker or something like that.
Yeah, I made myself a street kid because that seemed fun. But you basically
So you could sing the Aladdin song to yourself. Street rat!
Basically, you return back to Night City after 2 years away in Atlanta, where you've tried to make a better life for yourself, and you come back and you get back into sort of the crime world. And the opening tutorial of the game is you start...
I love the idea that Atlanta is still shittier than Night City.
You come back and you start working for a fixer, as they're called, who are people who set you up for jobs, called Dexter Deshawn, and you're tasked with completing a few small jobs that will end with you stealing this very high priority chip from a crime boss whose name I cannot remember. I think the surname is like Nobusaki or something like that.
Yeah, who are the Yakuza but not the Yakuza.
Yeah, the Yakuza but not the Yakuza. And one, like, the son it's Arakawa.
That's it, the Arakawa family.
Because they're a big tech company. And
because they make guns as well, don't they?
His son has broken off to start a crime family. And you break into the son's apartment and you steal the chip. And while you are in the apartment, he kills his father, pins it on you. You escape. The containment for the chip is broken, so you have to insert the chip into your head, which leads to you being possessed by the spirit of a terrorist.
Oh my god.
Keanu Reeves,
the terrorist, called Johnny Silverhand. And basically, the game from that point onwards is both trying to...
Terrorist, freedom fighter.
Both.
Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah. You work both with members of the Arakawa family to try and resolve that whole plot line while also trying to work out how to get Johnny Silverhand out of your head, because eventually it will kill you and he will take control of your body.
Yeah.
And
The game is exploring the rest of Night City.
the game is
following-
exploring
yeah.
Night City. You get involved in the crime world. You, like, the early part of it is you're going after two people who might know a way to get the chip out of your head. That's a big part of it,
Yeah.
is that. And then working with the Arakawa family to try and take down the sun.
Yep.
And
Okay.
it's a bit of a change of pace for CD Projekt Red, because it's first-person shooter angle rather than third-person adventuring. We're all familiar
Yeah.
with them more so for The Witcher. But it's a bit sort of like first-person GTA-like, but not quite.
Yes.
It's got a bit more futuristic angle to it and a bit more free-flowing in terms of the gameplay. But I will get into that more in entertainment.
Sounds
Okay.
like a plan. The next game to arrive was the one that I received from Keris.
Indeed.
Yeah, I keep getting close.
Darren was so close. I think they arrived the same day again, but one arrived
I think I
earlier.
ordered mine much earlier this time.
Yeah,
And
you
it just...
It just sat.
didn't.
It was because it was around. We were buying it around Christmas, so some
Yeah.
things got delayed, some things didn't. And I received what, Keris?
Gotham Knight.
Indeed, I had Gotham Knights. So this is, I suppose, the most recent superhero game. Apart from at the point of this release, there is now the Suicide Squad out. So not the most recent, but one of those.
Let us know on social media if you regret buying it.
So.
I want to know.
So this is a game that follows sort of like the fight styling of the Arkham games and the sort of, your was it Rocksteady? Or that we said their sort of style. As you can go on as the Gotham Knights, which are the 4 successors to Batman. Spoilers ahead. Basically, it starts off and Batman dies fighting Ra's al Ghul over a Lazarus pit.
Oh, cool.
That's how it starts. So Batman has gone. This vacuum has occurred. So it's now time for the 3 Robins that they were, which are now Nightwing, Robin, and Red Hood, which are, Dick Grayson is Nightwing, Tim Drake is Robin, who I always forget,
Yep.
and Jason Todd is Red Hood. And then you also play as Batgirl as well, which is Barbara Gordon, who is Commissioner Gordon, who is also passed in this universe. There's no more Jim Gordon as well. There's
Not
like a
Gary
statue for him.
Oldman.
No, Gary Oldman is gone, I'm afraid.
That's a shame.
And it's the
love
4 of
Gareth
them. It's the 4 of them working together to now try and solve this crime vacuum, because you now come across people. It's mainly the Court of Owls who you're against, who are a really cool enemy. They're quite a new sort of introduction into Batman, but they are now being used probably a little too much. Talia al Ghul is still there, so the League of Shadows is still involved. And then you also have people like Mr. Freeze, Harley Quinn, Clayface. You also find Man-Bat in the middle of it all.
Oh, hell yeah. I love Man-Bat.
And you also have Penguin as well. But they're sort of like the main enemies of the Rogues Gallery you find. And it's pretty much you go out each night to take on different crimes. You can clear a map of these crimes, these different syndicates that are going on there, which are like the Mob, are essentially Freeze's cronies, there are the Freaks, there are, the Court of Owls League Shadow. You wipe them out, then there are also set missions that you have to do to progress it, and then you go back to, I think it's called the Belfry, which is where you all work, because you're now working together, which is nice from the Batcave, it's like a joke, and you then progress the story. So the idea is trying to work out who killed Batman, why it happened, and also to get back to a norm and like a crime stability throughout Gotham with these 4 that you can interchange with whenever you go into the Belfry, and they all fight a little differently. And it also has online co-op as well,
Nice.
if that's something you want to do. So that is Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
The last person to receive their game,
Who would have thought? Right?
Me.
receiving it from Darren.
I
So
swear I'm doing better.
Keris,
Normally I wait super late, but this time, just fate said no.
it was stacked against you. You. What did you receive, Keris?
I got No Man's Sky.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, for those of you who aren't, no, my God.
Do you want to pat yourself on the back there, Darren?
Oh, nice.
Well done, me.
No Man's Sky. Okay,
Oh, fucking great game.
It was released in 2016, and what I specifically remember about this was that everybody was like really excited for it. It got a lot of hype, and then it was released, and everyone was like, "This is shit."
Hey, save it for most accurate.
And it was just, it was just panned overall. There were a lot. I think did you say there were a lot of bugs and a lot of or just it just wasn't very good?
No, it was just not quite what people thought it was going to be.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. I thought that they were like.
I'm saying this as a person who got it day one release.
Yeah. Bear in mind.
You'll find a running theme.
Actually, what you'll find is that I thought that I bought No Man's Sky for you for Christmas.
No, you bought me Cyberpunk 2077 for
That
my
was
birthday, because it came out on my birthday. No Man's Sky, I bought for myself.
Yeah.
I bought a PS4 to play No Man's Sky.
Fucking hell. I remember buying you Cyberpunk and
Don't worry, we'll get onto those.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
Yeah. Anyway, No Man's Sky, if you've never played it before, it's a bit of a weird one because it is marketed as an action adventure survival game, and it is that.
Very much so.
And yeah, basically you land on a planet, and I described it as cozy gaming in space, if I'm honest. My job at the moment is to repair things. So I've crash landed on a planet. I have to repair my ship. I have to repair my suit. I have to repair the things that are, my planet at the moment is toxic. So I have to get things that give me, protection against toxicity. There are...
Of my city! Nice System of a Down reference for no reason.
Being thrown off now. Sorry, I've enjoyed that a little bit too much.
I was going to say, I thought like the defense against toxicity would be like therapy and support.
And yeah, there's different, like, you can see that there's like wildlife that roams around. It's just
the big selling point of this game is all procedurally generated. So literally, you go to a planet, it is going to be potentially for the first time anyone in there, because there's billions in it. It's meant to be, you could just continue to be on your own forever. And all the animals are procedurally generated, all the plants are. The sounds they make, they proceed to generate like the vocal cords by like how the necks work, and the biomes are and how the sentinels react. And you're meant to be able to just choose what your path is going to be. You could be a simple farmer on a planet that just like lives out. You become a trader and upgrade your ships massively, or you could become some sort of like pirate to the skies. That was sort of how it was sold.
You cannot do any of that and just mine.
That's how I played it.
Yep.
Little space hermit.
Little space hermit,
Yeah.
On the frontiers, So those are the three games we got, which are Cyberpunk 2077, Gotham Knights, and No Man's Sky. But were there any games that sort of jumped out to you? When you thought about critically panned, are there any games that jumped out? I mean, like, I immediately bought this, but I was thinking about No Man's Sky, and I know for a fact I was also thinking about E.T. on the Atari, which was my intro. Not that anyone's got an Atari and you can't get hold of it, but there are certain games you go, I mean, I don't think there's ever been a game quite as reviled as the E.T. game. The fact that no one bought it and it literally was...
It killed an industry.
Yeah, it literally killed it, didn't it? And you're like, oh, that's gone. And there were landfills full of the cartridges, of the Atari cartridges. You're like, wow, that's insane. So I don't think anything's ever going to quite reach that level again. I mean, a good one probably would have been... I also thought about... was it The Day Before?
The Day Before,
But it just didn't fit for our consoles.
To be honest with you, I was gutted that this... was drawn the week after Gollum.
Yeah, right.
That was my main thing. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, Gollum would have been so good for this.
It would have been better than embarrassing, definitely.
But yeah, that was really the only thing that I thought was, god damn it. Like,
I very briefly thought about the new Kong game. I thought that's probably still too expensive. And I also thought about, is it Balan or Balen Wonderworld?
I don't know.
Which was like the game made by the Sonic creator that's just fucking bad. And I was worried because I remember that one being a case of it's just weirdly bad, but mechanically it's fine. It's just a bit dull and a bit whatever. Whereas like as soon as it was drawn, I went, No Man's Sky. And then I sat on it for a couple of weeks because I'm like, I reckon Karis will hate No Man's Sky. And then in the end I went, fuck it, No Man's Sky.
It's talking about going down the Congo. I also looked at the new Walking Dead game. I thought about recency might work for it, but then the reason I went for like Cyberpunk as well as I think you went for No Man's Sky is the fact on release, horrible critical reception. Now they've both won awards for best ongoing game, which proves that they have put their time in it. I was like, so I could potentially win in accurate and most entertaining is where my mind went with that. So yeah, there's a lot of critically panned games out there that I wouldn't want to inflict on people. And the fact that some are so bad and a lot have like online, like you have to be connected to work. A lot of the servers have died, so it limited us, I suppose, on that as well.
100%.
Should we jump into the main meat and potatoes of it all and get into fighting mode?
Yep.
To work out who bought the best budget video game.
Said meat in the critical pan.
Round 1, fight! I would like to extend a formal apology to Darren because I accidentally clicked that too soon and just played it over what he was saying.
Makes sense. Better.
Let's pretend
Better for it.
That was so well done. That was so
All the better for it.
God, it's like the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep episode 2 all over again. Me just erasing it for no reason.
Yeah, it's like the door was being shut on the section, and I had like, do you know the Fallout, the fucking fat man, the nuke?
Yeah.
Just in as the door shut.
The thing is, I looked around and everyone went, yep, let's move on. I went, cool. And then he went, I have another thought. I'm like, no, my thumb's moving towards it.
You know, you say you can see the cogs turning.
Yeah.
The cog hit its point as it went. I'm gonna say it. Fuck it.
So, we are now moving to the fight section.
Yeah.
In this section, we fight for 4 potential points for us. The first being most accurate to the genre, the other being value for money, then most entertaining. Those 3 points go to the person who bought the game. Then the last point is player of the game, which goes to the person who played it. So there are 4 potential points up for grabs, which means realistically, at most, it should ever be a 2-way tie. More importantly, one person losing. That's what we're trying to do, make sure there is a loser at the end of each episode. Keris is having a stroke, so we're going to move past Keris and move into most accurate.
Yeah.
It's going to be a weird one for the person who's buying the game, the person who played the game, to talk about it. Really, it should be the person who bought the game talks about this now to be most accurate for critically panned, because they're going to have to make a case for it, rather than normally we would have someone go, you know what, this was accurate because I played this and that was present. This is, I bought this game because. So who wants to go first? I mean, I think me and you are going to go along the same mindset here. Darren, that is towards you. But so do you want me to go first?
Go for it.
So Cyberpunk I bought because it was panned on its release. It was a game it was riddled with bugs for people on PlayStation and Xbox. PC seemed to run fine still with it. But it's almost like the PS4 wasn't powerful enough to run with it at that time. It needed the PS5. I never experienced these when I had it, but I know people did. And in fact, someone close to the show bought at the same time, just, I think, to shit on me playing the game until I stopped playing the game, and then Cyberpunk did, which I think is the big mode for this, they offered full refunds for the game, which is not something you really hear about ever. No. But there was so much, I think they did it because they were so much confident they knew it was going to be a good game. So they offered people full refunds for purchasing the game because if they were having issues with it and you played, I think it was under 20 hours of it, you could ask for a full refund and you got your money back. Obviously that was a digital. You bought a physical, tough shit, you're stuck with your physical. Yeah. When it came out, Cyberpunk had a 50 on Metacritic, I believe. And Xbox One was a 51, which is terrible critically. It has jumped up now to about 71 on there. No, sorry, that's the wrong place I'm looking at. 86 it's now on Metacritic. It is jumped up massively. And the user score is now around a 7.1. Yeah. We've seen it change. The thought process has massively altered, and if you look at the one that's just come out with Phantom Liberty, but there's now the Ultimate Edition with the 2, I think it's higher again. And it's won an award for best ongoing game, which I don't know it should have won that because it's not really an ongoing game, it's a static game, but they are fixing it. But that's why I bought it, because it was at release so bad that the developer had to offer refunds to people for the game, which I think is a pretty strong standpoint.
I'll go with No Man's Sky. So this was sort of bubbling under the surface around the PS4 for ages. And Hello Games talked about this big procedurally generated universe, billions of unique planets with all these different types of plants and wildlife, and you could go and you could explore the stars, and you could build base, and you could have combat, and you could like go around.
And then PlayStation bought them.
And then PlayStation bought them and rushed the game, and it launched, and it just was not the game. Like there's
It wasn't what people expected.
no, it was missing so many of these promised features. I feel like a lot of the hype around it came on what people believed it would be.
Definitely.
And it just lacked all those features. The procedural generation wasn't that impressive.
No.
It just lacked a lot of detail.
You'd move into another planet, you go, oh, this is the same planet I was on, this one's just red instead of green.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no.
Oh, look, that animal has the same general shape, but its neck is 2 inches shorter and it has another tail.
Yeah.
It's just really small little changes, and you couldn't build bases, you couldn't really do that much in regards to combat. You could shoot shit in the air if it appeared.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that Hello Games just went completely silent about it.
Yeah, they did.
They were just like...
I mean, they've been now... Sean Murray is now on Twitter and everyone goes insane whenever he tweets.
Yeah.
But at the time, they went silent because of the amount of backlash they were getting.
Yeah.
It was insane.
It just got a lot of shit for not being the game that was promised. And like, as I say, I bought a PS4 to play this. I think a lot of people were probably similar.
Yeah.
They jumped onto it to play this game, to buy this game, to experience this game as it had been promised. And just, it wasn't that. It got so much shit on launch for just missing features, being underwhelming, having no real gameplay to it.
I remember when I got the game, again, someone else that I knew at the time, I bought it and I was like, oh, I'm enjoying it. And they went, I bet you won't even play 10 hours of that game. And it was like that sort of thing. It's a different person, but it's like, I bet you won't enjoy this. I bet you won't even play 10 hours. It's like,
Yeah.
what the yeah, I will play. I will play more than that. And although I didn't have everything I wanted, I was like, I am still getting to explore. I'm getting something in there. I think I put about 15 hours in there. So he wasn't far off, but I was like, put 50 hours. And then I left it. And now you can see what it is now. And you can go, oh, this is what it should have been, you know? And you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, there's bits in there, you're like, oh, you can play with friends online, which you miss it. And the base building's there. Oh, and there's third person now, and the combat actually feels right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they've done all the little bits in there.
It was funny elements of that because it just kept being silently worked on, and then it would come round to get panned again.
Yeah.
Like, there was the multiplayer thing where they were like, oh, like, you can find each other in the universe.
Yeah.
It's just there's so many planets it won't happen. And then 2 people did find each other and couldn't see each other.
Yeah.
So it got panned again for that. And then there was the whole thing about, oh, what happens when you get to the centre of the universe? Because that's the story of the game, is you just trying to get to that's all there was to begin with. And then someone got to the centre of the universe, and all that happens is that the screen fades to white and you start again.
At the end,
and it got panned again. It just kept coming back around into, like, critics' shit lists.
Yeah.
Oh, we found another aspect of this game. That's bad too. Who knew?
Yeah, Gotham Knights. Okay, so I don't think it was panned as critically as the games do. So I will say that much. I do think that when it first came out, anyway, it did get a really dire review. So like it got a 5 out of 10 on IGN. It was, I think it's like 67 on Metacritic now.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it was at the time. The main problems for this came from the fact that like a lot of the reviews said that the world was really beautiful and they could see the intent behind it, but it was just riddled with bugs and just riddled with things that weren't working and were broken, and a lot of people said that it made the game almost unplayable because there were just so many bugs riddled throughout it. And I think a lot of the reviews were exactly that. It's a beautiful world, it looks like it should be a game that's really enjoyable, and it just isn't because it's broken. That's really what I got from it.
What was interesting was this came out, and I think a big part of this, not necessarily critically, but it was studios took note of this, and this led to Suicide Squad being bumped back a year and forced into almost a different direction because of what this was. Because it came out October 2022. Suicide Squad was due to be out around that sort of time, and now here we are 18 months later roughly, and Suicide Squad's coming out now with a new direction because of this.
Like, as you say, I don't think it was as like in the negative. Like, you can say the phrase, I don't think I've ever seen a game be as poorly written. I don't think I've seen a game fall just flat.
This is this is mediocrity. Like done.
Even I read a recent review of it, because obviously bugs have got in and been fixed and stuff, and the headline was literally Gotham Knights fixed but still mid.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty accurate for what I'm
It
seeing
landed,
even
and it
now.
wasn't enjoyable, and it wasn't bad enough that it was notable.
Yeah.
It just landed, and everyone went,
Yeah.
and then it vanished into the mist.
Yeah. Yeah.
The interesting thing right now on Metacritic, the worst reviewed game critically is actually Gotham Knights.
Really?
Of the 3 games, where it is right now. But if we look at historically, as I said, Cyberpunk was a 5.
Yeah.
I think No Man's Sky was a 4.8.
Yeah.
So No Man's Sky was critically lower.
Yeah.
However, the difference, I would say, as well, with Cyberpunk's argument, is it came out... Again, it was that massive fanfare that's No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Both of them have been bubbling. Again, both of these are games that I bought or had bought for me day one. You stopped me buying it day one because you were buying it for me day one. But I was getting day one. I was very excited for too long. And I still enjoyed when it came out, but then other people ground me down with it.
Yeah.
And I didn't see the issue. But the difference I say for Cyberpunk is the fact
They offered refunds.
They had to offer refunds for it, which is that massive, like, oh no, fucked
up.
We fucked up.
It's an actual like acknowledgement, I think, of like shit. We really did this badly.
Yeah. Like, my other argument is that I think No Man's Sky was the only game that was widely renowned as being bad.
Yeah.
I think both Cyberpunk launched, and a lot of what I saw was PC players and people who reviewed it on PC being like, this is a lot of fun. It's not quite what we wanted. It's missing a few things, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And they offered the refunds not because it was bad, but because it didn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because of little bitches.
I think it landed with a thud purely because it was just so riddled with bugs and performance issues. They refunded it with the knowledge that it is a good game that we just need to fix.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a game quite like Cyberpunk where people were buying it just to point out bugs.
Yeah.
They were literally buying
Like
it.
watching the car crash.
Yeah, they were buying it just to
Yeah.
watch the car crash.
Yeah.
Although I do think that Cyberpunk sort of, this is the difference. Well, I think it's right that they did the refunds, but they managed to right the ship much quicker than No Man's Sky did.
I think No Man's Sky is the worst game. But Cyberpunk was good to begin with. I think you talk about like the new version has like the 86.
Oh.
I think it launched on PC with about that.
It launched with an 89
Yeah,
on PC.
Like, it was a good game that just didn't. It's similar to
But I was
Control.
looking at it for PlayStation, you know.
No,
I was-
it's like Control a few months ago. Like, it launched and it was a good game that did not fucking function.
Yeah.
And like what you said about Gotham Knights, even if it was mid, its main problem was that it didn't function.
Work. Yeah.
No
And I
Man's
think-
Sky worked perfectly well. It was just not the game.
I think this is the only argument that I can really make against that, like to for this argument. This is the only thing I can really say is that at least with the 2 games that you've got,
They
were
good.
critically panned at the beginning, but now they're not. Whereas even with the fixes and the things that they've done, Gotham Knights is still critically panned.
The credit I will give it is at least Hello Games and CD Projekt Red had the vision of a good game they weren't able to make.
Yeah.
Gotham Knights is just a mid game that
flat.
got pushed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in my head, I don't think, and this is not to go, I don't think Gotham Knights was critically panned. It was critically mediocred
It
into
was almost critically ignored.
Yeah.
It landed and nobody gave a shit.
Looking at, sorry, just to go on No Man's, not No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk 2077, the new version, the Ultimate Edition, has got a 9.2.
Yeah.
Like, it's fixed. It's a
I
great
mean, this
game.
is the only thing I will say is that if we're going off critically panned,
Yeah, I'm good.
mine is like
The worst right now.
absolutely consistently critically panned.
But you have had less time to fix it.
I don't think they're going to fix it.
But that's the thing, is that I don't think there's an intention to fix it.
Because it's not worth it.
It's not
Yeah.
worth it.
I mean, in my mind, I actually think it'd be No Man's Sky I'd give the points to on this one.
I would have said Cyberpunk if its PC score was not as positive.
The main reason I'm saying No Man's Sky is because on release, it was a 4.8.
Yeah.
The only reason I will take the No Man's Sky thing is because it's the one I remember everybody getting and then being
that's-
like, oh, fuck me, okay.
Like, in almost a sabotage from forever ago, the resounding memory I have of Cyberpunk is reading all the reviews saying it's buggy and it doesn't fucking work, and then talking to Josh and being like, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's pretty good. And then you read the PC reviews and everyone's like, yeah, it's great. And all the PlayStation reviews are like, I can't fucking play it.
Here are some reviews on No Man's Sky at 4.8 came out on Metacritic.
Yeah.
Poor graphics, low distance visibility, annoying popping and graphical bugs, repetitive gameplay, boring, shallow, garbage, disappointed, empty galaxy, no settlements, overhyped.
Yes.
It's just everyone fucking
The
destroyed
credit
it.
I'll give to both Cyberpunk and No Man's Sky, though. Good games now.
Good games now.
Even though I say I prefer sort of the midpoint of No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I think now it has too little focus on that progression towards the center of the
Yeah.
universe, which is what I liked about it. That galaxy hopping.
But yeah, I think the first points go to No Man's Sky and Darren. As you said, it's just one of those things that it literally sticks in my head. It's 8 years on, and I'm still like, I remember that
I
clearly.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think going forward, my resounding memory of Cyberpunk is that it got fixed.
Yeah.
My resounding memory of No Man's Sky is that it was broken.
And no one has any memories of Gotham.
Critically ignored.
Ignored.
So the first points of the episode go to Darren.
Yeah, that's rare.
So for most accurate was Darren. Up next is value for money. So we're looking at the ones that sort of how long it takes to beat them versus how much we spent on them. Should we go over the order the games arrived in?
Sure.
So the first game to arrive was Cyberpunk 2077. I spent £12.95 on that for the PS4 version, but you do get a free PS5 upgrade, which is nice.
I accepted it.
Main story, 25 hours. Mains and sides, 61 hours.
Yeah.
A completionist, 104 hours. All styles, 63.
That's a nice little ladder of times.
Yes,
I like that.
it gets bigger. If you want to explore the whole world, you're going to have a long time.
20, 60, 100 is nice. Not what is it, like 20, 30, 150? Like, please.
Gotham Knights. How much did you spend on Gotham Knights?
£14.99, I think.
And the main story is 16 and a half hours. Mains and sides, 27 and a half. And completionist, 48 hours. All styles, 26 and a
Genuinely,
half.
for some reason, I thought it was going to be like main story 8.
Yeah.
Mains and sides 12.
It
seemed like that kind of game.
Yeah, I was going to say it was actually bigger than I thought it was.
completion-
16, like, God.
Yeah.
Completionist, 48 hours. I think I spent 40 hours to get the platinum on
Yeah.
this. So, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Last one was No Man's Sky.
Oh,
How
God.
much did you spend on No Man's Sky?
The best reveal we've ever had of this, I saw it for 11.11 and found that so funny I bought it on the spot. I didn't even look for a better
Some may
price.
say it was
I read
Destiny.
11.11 and went, that's content. Bye.
Main story, if there is one, 30 and a half hours.
Yeah.
Mains and sides, 75 and a half hours. Completionist, 142 hours.
Yeah.
All styles, 74 and a half hours.
Oh, it's got to be that then, haven't it?
It is the cheapest and the longest game.
Like-
It's got to be that.
Which is annoying because really, I know that's the completionist is, going for everything. But like, in my head, I'm like, I know everyone would spend longer in Cyberpunk than they would on No Man's Sky. But then some people would just spend for hours farming on it.
This is the thing. I think we'll get to this a lot in entertainment. I think No Man's Sky is a much more your mileage may vary game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it has the wheels to go longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So No Man's Sky gets the second point. So Darren
God.
has a win this episode.
Safe, safe,
It's
safe.
safe. So me and you, Keris, fighting for the next 2 points.
Have fun, boys.
I'm glad I signed out for this one.
So we're now moving on to most entertaining. Does anyone want to talk about their game?
I don't mind going,
Go for it.
just because mine's going to be short and sweet, if I'm honest.
Yep.
And it's not for the reason that Darren thought. I didn't hate this game at all.
thought you would.
Putting all my cards on the table, I have not put as many hours into this as I should have. It's my own fault. But the hours that I played, I actually did enjoy. I don't know if I would use entertaining as the word, though. Monly?
me only.
That Thor's hammer.
mainly because
I think she was a little vampire.
fucking hell.
Thor?
Have you got one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Lonely cat.
for fuck's sake.
No, keep going.
Right. What I was going to say was that for me, mainly it was because it suffers from the same things that a lot of. When I first got this game, I said to Josh, "This is like cozy gaming in space," because it is literally just like I was pottering around, I was mining, I was looking for things to repair things, and it was really nice. But it suffers from the same thing as all the cozy games that I play have, because it doesn't have anything particularly thrilling in it. And I think, as you said, though, it depends on where you land, because I landed on a planet that is very neutral. There's very little threat. There is a little bit of a threat. I will go into that and play the game because I got a bit too comfortable. It's quite a relaxing place for the most part. Nothing much happens. You just repairing stuff, you finding stuff. Whereas I know you said when you landed on a planet, it was very hostile.
Oh, the Sentinels fucking hated me.
It was, there's a lot going on. So I think it really... I don't want to actually say, like, no, it's not. I wouldn't say it's most entertaining, because I really think, as you said, it's one of those things that it's so personalised that I could have a completely different experience to somebody else. I found it entertaining for the things that I like about it, because it was nice, it was relaxing. Somebody else may hate that. So, as you said, I think it's entertaining in the sense that number one, you get what you give in the game, as you said. Like it's like, if you put the hours into it, I'm absolutely sure you would get more out of it. And I think it depends on the situations that you find yourself in the game.
It's interesting. So, like, as you said, with No Man's Sky, I think, as you said, mileage may vary, but you go in there, it's the difference between that and Disney Dreamlight Valley. So Disney Dreamlight Valley, you're doing little tasks, you're doing those buildings, but then you've got the interactions with you're getting that little burst from, like, oh, I've played with Stitch today, or I've spoken to Scrooge McDuck today. Here is very much it's autism version of Disney Dreamlight Valley. Like, oh, I found a cool rock today, and is that going to be enough to keep you going? It's a cozy game. It's a game that I would stick on. I would have an audiobook playing or a podcast playing, maybe even this podcast playing, and listen whilst I'm doing that, because it's not requiring my full attention. It's like it's the power wash game. I'm just clearing this map to move on to the next one. Yeah. There are points where you're going to build. There is changes to it, but as you said, it's entirely a mileage may vary game.
Yeah. Sorry. If you are someone like me who, with the cozy gaming, part of the reason why you like it so much is because you get those little bursts of like dopamine and serotonin, because you get like, you get the reward for doing this. There's not a lot of that, actually. You do the task and then there's like...
I love naming the animals.
Yeah.
I haven't done that.
When you find animals, you get to name them. And if you're the first one, they can be anything you want, as long as it's not offensive.
And if someone else finds it, it will say, like, discovered by your user.
Oh, I love that.
So there's little bits like that, and you can have fun trying to create names and stuff. But
the one thing I did like about it all the way through is it felt like the most accurate representation of what it would be like to be a space explorer.
Yeah.
Where you land on a planet, none of the plants and animals are understandable even. You give them fun names, you talk to someone, they have an alien language.
Have a chat with a geck.
Yeah, and then it gives you response options. You're like, I don't know what they said.
No.
And then you wander halfway over the planet and you find a rock and you touch it and it goes, you learned the geck word for idiot. And you're like, is he insulting me? Run all the way back, you talk to an idiot, pops up, you're like, oi! But it had this sense of discovery of like, you started filling out, you got new keys to unlock locked doors, you got new bits of languages.
And this is going to sound really weird, but on that kind of sense of discovery, what I really liked about it is that everything, they did a really good job of, this is going to sound stupid because it is, but they made a really good job of getting that feeling out of you of like, oh, this is completely new. This is like, I am going off and doing something that somebody else hasn't done. And I don't know, there was something really interesting about that. I liked it overall. I did really like it.
Fair enough. Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
The fact that you've described it as being described as like the most mid game ever is probably fair. I think this game is visually very, very good. Like, it has the visuals that I wanted in Arkham City. It's that foggy neon, everything's a bit grimy and dirty, and you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, everything's like reflecting, like the puddles are bringing up, like, I've done a bunch of screenshots because I got the platinum in it, and that's what I normally do a bunch of screenshots, stick it up on Instagram with platinum number whatever, and it looks good, and the combat is fun, it feels right. It still has those bugs like you would have seen my stream of if you saw my stream of Spider-Man, where someone's stuck in a wall and I'm like, someone's just trapped behind a door and I cannot continue in this crime. That's very annoying. Move on. And you've got those bits. It's a bit of a grind the whole way through, because you have to, like, you can interrogate people to get information, to find another crime, to fight that crime, which is just really I'm punching different people, I'm punching different people, I'm punching different people. And although there's variation, all of the enemy syndicates are basically the same variation of lower level, regular grunt, bruiser, ranged weapon guy, this, like, you know, that same sort of style. They all look good, and some of them are like alt versions, so they've got a slightly different skin, which is fun. And then you fight in different areas, like you do Harley Quinn's one and you're in I would say it's not Arkham Asylum because it's not the Asylum. Asylum's gone. It's the penitentiary. It's Blackgate.
Right. Yeah,
Blackgate
cool.
is where you are fighting, and you go in there and they're all like all in jumpsuits, so it looks the same, but they're in jumpsuits. So you got that bit going on there, and that's sort of where the game shines, is in these cutscenes, which are probably about 3 hours, 4 hours, where they're doing the story. Like, it's well voice acted. I felt like, these are actual characters. They do integrate quite well. Like, Jason Todd is grumpy and he doesn't care because he's been brought back from the dead. And he doesn't like the others, really, but he's feeling begrudging need to. Nightwing has taken on the role of what Batman is, really running everything. Barbara is the smart one, who's a bit of like a bit smirky. And then you got Tim. Is it Tim?
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake, who's just an annoying kid.
Hell yeah.
And they've all got their own sort of elements. And the fact that they do have different fighting styles and you can sort of learn their different fighting styles is pretty cool, because you go and you learn in an area where Batman sort of teaches you in this sort of thing. So you have Batman talking to you and you're like, this kid. And when you leave, he's like, I always believed in you. Well, you know, I was playing as Nightwing, so I always believed in you, Dick. And I was like, but like you're leaving at that point, you know, that's cool. But the thing that made it was...
Is that where your meme, which was Barry Cook?
Even Batman's watching...
To Saltburn.
Yeah, even Batman's watching Saltburn. Oh, nice. Yeah, always believe in you, Dick.
I'll understand that one day.
Yeah, but it's very good in there, but it feels... It's weird. It's a game that I would describe. It feels bloated but empty. Like they've put all this content in there just to make it a longer game. If it was a narrative-driven one-way game, it would be 6 hours. But because they've got all this side content that is just repetitive, it feels bloated.
Yeah.
It never feels bad. It just feels dull. Because like some of the trophies are defeat a certain number of these enemies, and you just have to wait for them to spawn. You go to places and they aren't there, and there's no way to track them and stuff. It's like little bits like this quality of life stuff could be in there. It's fine. If you like Batman, you'll have a fun time looking at all of these characters and going, oh, it's cool. Like, I got excited when the Court of Owls showed. I went, oh, nice, it's them.
Yeah.
And then when Penguin showed, I went, oh, cool, Penguin. And he's in the, was it the Ice Club is his place? That's where he's, the Ice Lounge, I think it is. And he's in there and you're like, oh, we're in here, that's fun. And like, was it Clayface? He's got nothing. He's just, you find him in the sewers. You're like, you're like, oh, this is... So all of it feels good, it feels lived in, and it feels like the city. It just doesn't have enough going for
It's
it.
all just a bit like soulless.
Yeah.
I'm in my head to use the other superhero property. You know how a big complaint about more recent Marvel films is that the old ones had a lot of like fun ideas and a lot of heart to them and a lot of interesting concepts, and the new ones have all just melded into like grey.
Yeah.
It feels like the same sort of problem where you have like the original Batman games. It feels like this is modelling itself on. Had all of these interesting, like Arkham City and Arkham Asylum are still great for all the charm and the world building, the ideas they have.
It's got the issue that it's not DC doing it, it's Warner Brothers sticking their all in, and it makes it a problem.
Right. Okay.
It loses some of like the charm of those other ones.
That being said, it was free the other month. Recommend giving it a go. You probably go fine. And it's probably, again, you go, right, I've done the story, now I need to clear up all the collectibles or everything.
Lovely.
Stick on a podcast, just do what you need to do.
Maybe this podcast. Cyberpunk, less a podcast game.
Yes.
I am in two minds about Cyberpunk. I think it's...
Like V? With his two chips?
Funnily enough. I think the world building of this game is phenomenal.
It is.
I love Night City. I think it's so interesting the way it's all built together. Like, you go to this kind of rundown area to go to a particular club, and there's just, because it's a big city, it's also going to be, there's just prostitutes in every corner, and then they're called Joy Toys, and they're like androids.
Ew.
And there's...
I don't like Joy Toys.
There's a strip club.
It's like AI. It's like Jude Law's there with Gigolo Joe.
There's a strip club you go to where they're not actual dancers. You pick the dancer you like, and then you essentially VR lap dance.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's got a lot of interesting thoughts like that. My favourite one, which is such a minor detail that I really liked about its world building, when you're at a crosswalk,
Yeah.
in the downtown area, you have the red and the green man, but it's also on LEDs in the floor.
Oh, okay.
So it will say wait, and then when the man's green, it says walk.
Yeah.
And I found that so charming because that's a level of thought you don't normally see.
Yeah.
But if you go to the poorer area of the city, those are not there.
Oh,
It's the older
okay.
style.
It's
They've
really...
put so much thought into it and how it's built.
What's nice, I've always thought, was that it's not like, you know, you go into certain areas, you go, this district is the rich, and you go in the rich. There's a bleeding effect where it's like, it's not clear where the borders actually are. And I always felt that was a nice
It's not like a
touch
sort of
there.
GTA way where you could draw bubbles and be like, this is the city bit and this is the desert bit. It flows a lot more nicely.
Apart from when you go outside the walls, and then that's just fucking wasteland. Best of luck to that.
And there's like little aspects there, like you have a Watch Dogs-esque scan. You can like scan people, and you can just find people who are wanted, and you can just gun them down for like street cred. So often you'll be going.
I mean,
by,
that is one of the stupidest things. Is what your character.
You see three people in like a corner, and you go, they look dodgy. Wanted, eh? Bang, bang, bang. Dickheads. But it's got a lot of like interesting stuff there in terms of the world building. There's a lot of character customization. I think there's 5 skills.
You can choose your genitals.
You can choose your genitals.
I remember you saying about this. Yeah.
Big, small, none.
But there's like different skills as well, and it's got sort of skill check-esque things. Like there's a mission I just did where you have to try and get into a factory, and there's 2 doors side by side, or there's a window in the middle. And the window, I think, has a strength check of 8. One of the doors has a strength check of 11. The other one has a tech skill to like unlock it. And I hadn't leveled up much, so I bashed the window and then jumped through. But I think
you can solve most problems in a way, even if they're not the most elegant solutions, depending on how you build the character.
Like the only issues I have with it is 2 main ones. One is much more minor, and then the big one. The minor one is I feel like the game encourages a stealth approach, but really walls you on if it lets you do it.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, you try to do stealth, and it's like, oh, have you got a tech skill of 9? And I'm like, no, I'm not that far in the game yet. And it's like, well, fuck you, you're going all guns out. Okay, game.
Which you can then, you level up that, and you can then stick in tech. So it's like, well, if you'd come back here later, you may have had a different experience.
Yeah, but it's one of those where you feel like you're in the story mission now.
Yeah.
If I had known this was coming, I would have backed out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The other one is, I think this has, we discussed it earlier, as the Skyrim problem.
Yeah.
Where I think the world is super interesting, but the story is kind of dull. There's one likable character, and they kill him off in the first couple hours.
Yep. I did a tribute post to him on my Instagram at one point.
But like, everyone is just a generic reskin of person involved in the crime underworld.
Right.
So I agree with that. With the Skyrim effect, is that the main pushing story you don't care about. Like, I don't care about helping the Stormcloaks or the Union.
Yeah.
But I do want to go see what the companions are up to. And this has that ability, like,
thing, yeah.
I can
just
go
want to
off.
see what's going on.
Like, I go out into the wilds. I'm like, cool. There's a bunch of contracts out here. I can do stuff with the nomads. I can go have sex in a fucking weird helicopter thing.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, let's do
I
that.
can see why he was one of the people that was like, yeah, I'm having fun with this.
I hadn't got that point yet, but it was.
Yeah. Like, one of my favourite things I've encountered so far is there's Delamain, the AI taxi.
Yes.
And you have an ongoing quest with him where some of his taxis are going rogue.
Oh.
And there's a great one where the taxi is scared of driving and you have to drive it back to the depot. But if you drive over 40 miles an hour, it shuts the car off.
There are so many good ones. The Delamain story at the end is brilliant. Like, I completed that side quest and I went, this is brilliant. It's like one of my favourite ones in there.
It's so well thought out that I just kind of wish they put more effort into the centre line. As much as I think Johnny Silverhand is exactly who he needs to be for that story, he's kind of relentlessly boring in that he's completely one note.
Yeah,
maybe he softens up. He's already softening up a bit.
He's also Keanu Reeves, so he's only got one note.
But there's nice bits of that where, of course, he's in your head and he's begging you to smoke. And there's a point after a mission where you can just smoke for him and you can pick the relationship you have. But yeah, the only issue I have with it, like, I was on the table. From what I've heard, I do think it's the most entertaining game. I think it had so much further to go if they put a bit more effort into making the characters a bit more interesting.
A lot of the other characters you meet, because I know you're probably quite early in the game, there are some more that are really well flashed out and there is developments there. But I agree that V, I don't really care for that much. And I know it's you, but you come across as a bit of a whiny bitch.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word. And
It's the one thing I liked about... I mean, spoilers because it's 2 hours into the game. It's Jackie who dies.
he was like this sort of like...
He has goals. He has aspirations. He has a character that no one else has.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone's just sort of... I don't know what V's game is. I don't know what V wants.
But that's the problem. I think but V isn't meant to be an everyman. He's meant to be like a Skyrim person where like your character who is meant to be, you project yourself onto him and you play it how you want to. But I agree, because they give them so much dialogue and he's interacting with something in his head, you feel like there should be more drive for this main character. But...
something more going on in the corner game that isn't just, I do crime because I am a crime person.
Yeah.
And I didn't like Atlanta.
No.
Who does?
I do. God, I wish they could do some sports, right? Anyway,
The baseball's alright.
so was the football for a brief time, but not the American football. Anyway, so what do we think deserves to win this? I've played all three. I know which I think is the most entertaining.
I'm not going to be able to vote for my own. So
Cyberpunk's what I think deserves to win this one personally, but I think No Man's Sky has its own arguments for it because it is, again, a mileage you could have a lot of fun just sort of sat around there.
If you asked me when I first sat down with them which of them was I more compelled to play for longer, it was No Man's Sky. If you asked me to go home right now and play one of them, I'd probably play Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
For me, I think I would throw my vote towards Cyberpunk only because I've really enjoyed No Man's Sky so far, but just based on the concept of the games, I think I would enjoy Cyberpunk more. It's more kind of like my vibe.
It's got that real, like, GTA deal.
Yeah.
Where you can just jump in and fuck around in the city for a bit.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd check.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077?
2077.
Points!
And nothing but Gretchen Wieners, right?
And up next is Play of the
Play of the
Game. So we're now picking, this is for yourself, you're trying to get points, this is the one that goes to you as played it. Anyone got a really good Play of the Game they want to go first, or do they want to go, I want to keep my Play of the Game to the end?
Mine's not good.
Okay.
But it's a good example of getting too comfortable on the planet. So as I said in my kind of description, I'd landed on this planet where I've never played this game before. This is my first day playing it, and it was like, you know, this is nice, this is relaxed. I was happily mining, I was repairing things. I hadn't seen any wildlife at all, you know, everything was really nice. And then I got too comfortable because 2 hours of mining and just plodding around and looking at things and discovering new plants that gave you new components and stuff like that. And they were like, oh, you have to go and find this this other part of the ship. So I was like, okay, and you know, you scan for it and then you go. And as I'm going, and this part of the ship is like a really long while away, it says there's a toxic storm incoming. And your toxic protection is really not doing well after the crash. So you have to find these specific plants that have sodium in them. Now, if you can imagine that the ship is all the way over to the right, everything that has sodium is all the way over to the left.
Nice.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm like, great. Okay, we'll go over to the sodium first.
Well, it's
okay?
a planet, just keep going left.
I have my jetpack on and I'm going left.
Checkmate, flat
And
earthers.
as I'm going that way, the toxic storm is getting worse. The toxicity is getting worse. My health is going down. So I start to panic. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. At this point, I should tell you that I didn't check the options and the camera for me was inverted. Now, I don't play
Who are you,
inverted.
Josh?
And I just kind of thought that this was how it was going to be. I panicked. I ended up going face first into a plant that I thought would be fine. It was not fine. The plant then grew spikes and damaged me quite a lot, and it took me a really long time. And at this point then, obviously I've been hit by a plant. I'm trying to get sodium. The sodium's coming in, but the thing that I need is all the way over the other edge. And I genuinely, I didn't die, but I went from being very relaxed, having a lovely time, to, oh my fucking God, everything on this planet is trying to kill me really, really quick.
The
basically.
vibe I got from No Man's Sky a lot is, you know, when kids who've grown up in the city move to the country and they don't know cows aren't friendly.
Yeah, that.
You walk up to things, you're like, are you? And then it starts attacking, you're like, fuck.
Yeah. The worst thing is out of anger, I tried to go back and mine it, and it was just like, no.
Those plants don't give a fuck.
Nah, I'm not getting mined, you bitch.
I love the idea you went. I know this pickaxe.
Yeah, I
It's not
tried
a
to
pickaxe,
laser it to mine it, and it was like, nah, fuck you. I was like, okay, fine. So that was it, really. The little plants were little bitches, and I couldn't even get revenge on it.
I'll do mine. I've had a few play of the games like this. I apparently really like it in a game where it power fantasies itself. So the early part of this game, you're working through and you do the thing where you steal the chip and you insert into it or whatever, and you have to fight your way out of this hotel. And your guns at this point, your combat skill is kind of very middling. And they're not ineffective, but your guns will take a good, half a clip to kill someone.
Yeah.
And there's just enemies pouring in. And up to this point, you've heard whisperings about Keanu Reeves, Johnny Silverhand, being this sort of guy who is very well known and very renowned in this space. And you've done all the shooting and all this fighting, and you've just about made your way out. But it was a real fucking stretch to get there. And then you have this flashback, essentially, where you have a vision of you as Johnny Silverhand,
Right.
as he's breaking into this building. I think that he goes to plant a bomb eventually. I can't remember what the initial thing is. I think they're hacking into the building.
Yeah.
And you have this 5-minute section where you play as Johnny Silverhand, and his weapon is a revolver that one-shots fucking everything.
Yeah.
So your reward for getting out of this hotel by the skin of your fucking teeth and having to shoot through everything and just about getting out and really rationing your ammo, using every weapon you have at disposal because you're running low, is you run in as Keanu Reeves and just go bang, 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 bang. Fuck yes. It both feels amazing to play, but it also really does set up that when you start seeing the visions of him, and the first time you see him, he actively tries to fuck you up.
Yeah, he does.
You're trying to take pills to erase him.
Yeah.
And he kicks them away and he throws you to the ground and shit. If you hadn't just played as him one-shotting an entire army, basically, you get into that scene, you're like, oh, fuck, oh, no, it's going to hurt me too. I just thought there was no better way to establish, the aura of that character they've been trying to set up than going, you play as him. You one-shot, basically, twice the force you've just fought through, barely. Now fucking worry about him.
It's great.
It's so cool.
Gotham Knights. There are a lot of cool bits where you get to interact with the previous villains. I think it was really cool when you find Man-Bat for the first time. You're going through Arkham Asylum towards the end of the game, and you opening up the labs, trying to find out more about the Lazarus Pits, because of course it's about the Lazarus Pits. And then Man-Bat's come out and just jumps out. And you're like, it's funny because they're trying to be spooky, but it's not quite worked. And then Man-Bat comes, and you go,
love Man-Bat.
and Man-Bat is also goofy as fuck. So it was like, oh, this is pretty funny.
He's a Man-Bat.
The bit that made me fully laugh, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because I just watched Keris playing Spider-Man. So when you're playing as Spider-Man, obviously you're swinging through the streets, and it was like, hey, Spider-Man, we love you, Spider-Man. High fives in the street. I was running through as Nightwing, and you hear a random person go, shit, is that Nightwing? There's problems. Get out of here! Get out of here! And it's the panic of people going, fuck. And you're like, that's how you should react. Not like, I'll take a selfie with you. It's like, oh shit, it's the middle of the night. This guy's got fucking sticks and guns. Let's fucking run. And it was just a really, because there'd be moments where you go, oh, I think that's Nightwing of it. And then this one, I was like, that is brilliant. That is how you expect
I
it.
envisioned it in the way that, do you know when you're driving, you see 4 police cars go the other way, and you're like, I don't want to know what that's about.
And that's pretty much it. And you're like, that felt more realistic.
You see a superhero arrive, and you're like, oh shit, I need to be somewhere else. Shit's about to go down here.
It was just that moment I go, that feels real. So.
I'm the guy who Wilhelm screams. I need to leave. That's not how I want my legacy to be.
Cool. So plays the games. Where are we thinking?
Oh, I don't know.
Gary's like, I know tactically what to do here.
Vote for yourself.
So if I don't vote for Josh, he can't also win.
This is really
I'll be
hard.
perfectly honest, I'm voting for mine for that very reason.
Is that it?
No, I did like mine more because I enjoyed doing it. And I like a voice clip as much as the next guy, but I do like gunning down a private army and one bullet
It's
apiece.
good. I think there are some really good moments
There's
throughout
cool set pieces,
throughout well, not even set pieces, just throughout Cyberpunk. There's like cool like these. You find a priest. I'm sure you might have found him who's been augmented. And their whole thing about not being augmented because there's a group that's actually capturing them and forcing augmentations onto them.
Yeah.
And then you reach him later, and he's now miserable because the others have shunned him. And he's like, "Oh man, I've done so much good here." And you're like,
There's the thing so far of like the whole brain dance industry.
Yeah.
Where you find the brain dancers are like the lap dance thing I was talking about. You
Yeah.
have black market ones where people do it to get the feeling of like being killed.
yeah.
God.
So they get people to wear the recording device and will kill them, and then people will watch that back to experience the feeling of
death.
dying.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
God.
some really
And
cool
you
moments
follow,
in there.
like, you have to save someone from the black market brain
Go
dance
on,
industry.
go on, Darren. You can have the points.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have to give it to Keanu Reeves.
Yeah!
Fucking have the episode, Darren.
Yeah! My first in a while.
I think that's me and you on 2 wins, Darren.
I think so, yeah.
And Karis on 1. Well,
Yeah.
you'll get caught up. You'll get
What's
caught
right
up.
in the world.
And that is the end of our fight.
It is. We're friends now.
We are friends now, and we need to work out what we're buying for on the
Yes,
next
we do.
Yes.
episode. So let's find that out before we say our goodbyes. And we'll hand over to Darren with the
Genre.
random.
Genre generator.
There we are.
We're all disappointed, no more than me, because this prompt is one word, so I can't just flip it when I'm asked what it's about.
Is it fish?
No. Our next category
Oh God.
is vampires.
Oh!
Is that the person you thought would be very excited about it, Darren?
Yeah.
Yeah! I fucking love vampires. Yes. Okay.
Huge Twilight.
I know
Ah,
what game
fuck
I'm thinking
you.
of buying, and I'm
Not
buying
Twilight.
for Karis. Interesting.
I saw, we rolled it, and I went, there's a game that's pretty up front here, and then a bit more thought.
Is it the game that I'm also thinking, which is Vampire?
For vampires, we buy the game called Vampire.
Without the E, so we thought about it a little bit.
Good old vampers.
Interesting. So yeah, do come
Yeah.
along for our next fight one, which will be about vampires. Thank you all for coming again. So here a little bit of housekeeping. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to listen to our other episodes, they come out twice a month on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month. First one is fighting, second one is chatting about that month. We also have a longer version of this on YouTube if you are listening on any podcast platform. So do check us out at disccountpod on YouTube, where you'll also find a bunch of streams of different games that we're doing.
But where did those come from, Josh?
They came from Twitch.
Wow.
Which is also at Discount Pod. We stream there 3 times a week. Mondays and Fridays are legacy streams, where we are either playing Karis with Resident Evil, me with a Dark Souls game, or Darren with a Kingdom Hearts game. Ooh. And Wednesdays, we play these games that we're talking about right now, the ones that you vote into the vault, and the ones that we're talking about in the episode. Yeah. So they all are there, so do check them out. But if you want to find out a little bit more about what those are, better go over, check us over on Instagram.
Oh, fucking, where would you find us on Instagram, Josh?
At Discount Pod.
Wow.
But if you want to find you specifically, Darren, it's Discount Darren.
Yeah.
And then me, Discount Josh, and Karis.
It's Disco Carrot.
Oh my god.
All with 2 C's. But yeah, that's where you can find us all. Do check us out there. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, tell someone about this. Also, if you have any suggestions for what you think would be a cool topic or category, do let us know, because we can just add it into our random genre generator, and we will give you a shout out
Random what?
on the random genre generator. And we will give you a shout out for it as well. But that is everything on this one. And if you ever see us in the street, make sure you say, "Shit, get the fuck out of here!"
Oh my god.
Anything else you want to say?
No.
Oh,
Fuck, that's wrong episode.
Please don't do that to me.